Welcome back. Eskom and the National Union of Mineworkers have reached a wage agreement, ending a 4-day strike at the power utility. The agreement was facilitated by the CCMA, which intervened in the matter in terms of the Labour Relations Act. More than 15,000 NUM members down tools over higher wages. Eskom's workers will now receive a wage increase of between 8.5% and 10% this year and next. The housing allowance will also go up by 260 Rand per month this year, 140 Rand per month next year. This will bring the total housing allowance to 3,000 Rand per month over the next 2 years. The NUM, or rather the National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa, that's NUMSA, is however still considering the offer. Eskom says it's hopeful that it too will sign the agreement. Well, Eskom's spokesperson Khulu Phasiwe is here to talk about the deal. Khulu, as always, thanks for finding the time to come in.
Thank you.
It sounds like you've made the NUM very happy with this deal. Did you sacrifice too much?
Well, for us, it's a win-win for all parties concerned because it is not good for the country to have instability in the electricity sector and also in the petroleum sector. As you know, there's also a strike there. So we had to come to a middle ground, and we are happy that in the early hours of this morning, all parties agreed that we'll increase our wages by 8.5% this year, between 8.5% and 10%, and the same will apply for next year.
Yeah, you're going to need the money to pay for these wages. I mean, there are some fears that perhaps you may very well go back to the regulatory body NERSA and perhaps ask for an approval of another tariff rate hike. Is that possible?
Well, we as a company will have to find money somewhere, but it may not necessarily be in the form of tariffs because obviously, as you know, our tariffs are regulated by the regulator, and they will take us to task because first and foremost, the regulator had made it very clear that our sort of output costs should be maintained within inflation. So we'll have to find money elsewhere. The good news is that we are actually now beginning to increase our exports to our neighboring countries, especially Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, and Zambia. They are buying more electricity from us. Maybe that money will come from there.
Okay, so that's one possible source, but it doesn't do enough to really get rid of the debt that you're incurring. I mean, it's become a necessity for Eskom recently. Does this wage deal perhaps put some pressure on that debt that you already have?
Well, it is indeed going to put some pressure on us because, as you know, we are currently building 3 big power stations, Medupi, Kusile, and Ingula. We need to raise about 230 billion Rand over the next 5 years. We have already borrowed so far about 90 billion Rand. So we still have a long way to go in terms of closing that gap. But yes, this will put pressure on us. But it's pressure that we obviously we have calculated and seen that it's something that we can absorb. So therefore, for us, it is going to put pressure, but it's pressure that we can absorb.
All right. What happens with Metal Worker Union NUMSA now? I mean, they're still looking at this deal. How significant is it that they haven't signed?
Well, they have agreed in principle that the offer is fair. They are basically just going back to their membership to see if they are happy, and if the membership is happy, then they will sign. But for us, we are happy that the majority of the workers, which is NUM, and also Solidarity, have signed, and therefore we have sort of I would say a majority agreement on this. So NUMSA technically has agreed. It's just a matter of them getting feedback or sort of authorization from their membership on the ground. But in principle, they have agreed to the offer.
All right, Khulu Phasiwe from Eskom, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.